Alright, let's check the setup. I can see myself, I can see the chat. I'm sitting on the floor tonight because this is all spread out in my working area. I hope you can hear me. I'm checking the audio output, at least visually. If anyone, I do know that there are one or two people in the chat. Volume up, volume up. That's what I wanted to hear. Let's try it. Is this better? So you will solder whole mainboard today? No, Mats, I will not. As you can see, the setup is mostly here already. I prepared a lot of stuff, but Visual School audio is good, much better, thanks. Okay, great. But there is something from Retroiana in here, the HDD clicker. But it will probably be replaced eventually. I'm looking for a hard disk to put into this funky, I hope you can see it, you should be able to see it, in this funky swappable hard disk container. And I will put this in here. And yeah, that should be very nice. I'm gonna swap the dark 5¼ inch floppy disk drive for a beige or gray one. I will swap with some other person from the forums who might be here, but probably is not yet. Yeah, and the compact flash will be gone. Installed are a Trident 9000, I think, a random multi-IO controller that I had lying around, plus a Blasterboard 8, I think that's the older one, with OPL2 and Sound Blaster compatibility. And the thing is working. Is this drive from Christmas? No, this is not the Christmas drive. The Christmas drive was a double density. This is actually high density because this is a 386. I thought I put in all high density disk drives because I think double density disk drives would make sense in here. I do have a beige double density disk drive that I could put in here, but I think that would not be quite period correct, so to speak. I'm gonna turn it on. You can see the screen in the back. It will be noisy because there is a old AT power supply. So let's try that. The LEDs here are wrong. There is a turbo button switching between 8 and 16. So I need to figure out the settings here for the jumpers. And you can hear the HDD clicker, I guess. Drink of the day, as I said, is I think a Franziskaner, alcohol-free Weizen, which I'll use to stay hydrated. You can probably make out the screen. Maybe I will close up the thing here and put the screen on top, but it's not super important that we can read everything. Is this the board you got for the CGA card test? There's Stefan. I'm gonna swap the floppy disk drive with Stefan. I'm not sure if that is the board. This board arrived with a battery leakage, which destroyed a handful of traces, and I fixed them up. There's a bodge wire on the bottom, but it's still a great 386 DX40. What I did so far was to set up the flash card. It's a 512 megabytes, so it works perfectly fine. I installed MS-DOS 5, and I do have Windows lying around here, so we can install that if you want. I do have a Genius Easy Track here that we need to set up. I think I have the driver disk somewhere. I think this here maybe. Maybe we'll start with that, installing some stuff. The problem with the chat is, this is the one. Okay, yeah. 5-inch floppy disk drive turned pricey these days. Yes, exactly, that's why I'm swapping. Let's call up the DOS controller, my favorite Norton Commander clone, which is super small. Only drawback is it can't access network drives or CD-ROM drives. At some point in the future I will try and make it support that by hacking the assembly code, but not sure if that's possible. I do have two things on here that we can try out. Qt Mouse, obviously, as a mouse driver, and KBB.com, which is a very, very, very tiny German keyboard driver, which is only a kilobyte or something in size. I think we can use that to get a little bit more free memory. Even now we have, let's see, with DOS controller loaded, we have 619 kilobytes free, roughly. That's a lot, because I already set up UMB. Aha! Necroware is here, and Dana is also here. Welcome. Very nice to see you. I think CTMDE is probably the German version, so I'm gonna copy both files. There you go. Then I'm gonna edit autoexec.bat. We don't need the regular keyboard driver, but we can use the one that I just copied. And in theory we can then also ditch the whole code page and other stuff as well. Should give us a little bit more memory. I'm definitely going to try and install the CP mouse. What was it called? CTMDE for the German version, I guess. CTMDE dot, was it com? Oh goodness. No, exe. Okay. That's it. Gonna reboot, and then let's see if the mouse will work. That's the first step. And then we can install Windows, or maybe Monkey Island 2, perhaps. Okay. This is not a system disk, of course. Looking good. Let's try the mouse. And the mouse is working. This is nice. Okay. What shall we do first? Install Windows or install what do I say? Monkey Island. Let's do a poll, I think. How do I do a poll on this device? Can I? Probably not, right? Yeah, let me switch to my main computer. How do I do that? Umfrage, here. Install Win 3.1 or Monkey 2. Let's go. Here we go. Let's see what you people say. What we are supposed to... Can you see the vote? The poll? Okay. Looking like... Oh no! Monkey 2 is now catching up. Everything will be installed from floppy disks, Mr. Razmataz, because we don't have anything else in here. We don't have a network drive, we don't have CD-ROM drive, so everything will be floppy based. And I'm not even sure the floppies will work. These are original OEM floppies that I got from someone, and let's see if they work. Working on the floor, how familiar, yes. My goal is to get this all set up and then I can pack it away and get the floor space back. Yes, Layered or Frank, I am sitting on the floor because the desk is cluttered with other instruments, so everything is distributed on the floor, as you can see here. I think I can finish the poll, and Windows won by a relatively large margin. So let's see, Windows Disk 1. Who remembers how to install Windows 3.1? I would say A colon. Can you see that? More or less? Rather less, right? I'm gonna pull this a little bit to the front. And I'm doing a dir. Okay, looking good. How much memory do we have now? 628 kilobytes roughly. Yeah, that's good. That's pretty decent actually for MS-DOS version 5. Rasmus says setup exe, and I think he's correct. That's the one over there. Let's run setup exe and see what happens. I don't know how many times I've installed Windows 3.1 or Windows 95 or something like that. But I think Windows 95 would be a bit slow on this machine. I think it would work. There are 4 more SIM sockets, so we could upgrade it to 8 megabytes of RAM. Currently there's 4 in there, and for MS-DOS that's more than plenty. Okay, it's German setup. We are going the Express route, I would say. Yeah. It's going to start. I do have the cheap Primax active speakers here, and I had to open them up earlier today because the volume port was so incredibly scratchy, and I noticed there are tweeters on there, but they are completely fake. So they are the very cheapest of active speakers that you could imagine. 33 years since, yes. Stefan says, the last stage of Windows installation was a zip disk with all the disks in one folder, just start and go out. We did this weekly, as I hope not to have explained why here, yes. I hear the HDD clicker, yes, Matze, that is the case. It is very nice to have it in here until a proper hard disk is in this machine. It's also mounted completely flimsy, it's just hanging in the air, so I must not make contact with anything. Okay, that was already disk 2. The speaker on this one is super loud. First disk did work fine. Oh, second disk sounds horrible. I think the second disk might be broken, which would be unfortunate. Not sure why, it makes a funny noise. Yeah, doesn't seem to work. Yeah, out of luck. Okay, plan B. Let's think about plan B. Do I have another copy of Windows 3.1 lying around? Let me check back here where all the funny stuff is. I have manuals. I have Windows 95. I have MS-DOS 6 upgrade, which doesn't help us much. Windows 95 we don't want to install. And I think I have to write maybe a couple of disks, or we're going to do the more simple route. I think I'm gonna quickly copy the install folder, just like Stefan said, onto the compact flash drive, because I think at least disk 2 seems to be somewhat scratchy. Yeah, it does look good, but for some reason it makes a funny noise when it's turning. We can do one more test. it does work. It doesn't sound super healthy. I'm gonna try the following. I'm gonna create a Win31 folder here. Go in here. Ah, you see? I wonder why that is. No. Okay. No chance. No chance. I need to make a whole set of disks, I guess. Okay. Plan B is to unplug this nice little compact flash and to put it into a reader. 1 second. Like this. All right. This will take only a couple of seconds, I hope. Looking for oh yeah, this is looking good. Okay, sorry for being away from the screen. It is copying. I even found Windows 3.11, which is even better than 3.1. And we'll install that. We even will have Hearts, I think, is included in there. We can play that. And definitely I need to put on my to-do list to write a new set of Windows disks, it seems. It's a very useful thing to have. Too bad that this disk 2 seems funky. And the thing is, I really can't see anything wrong with that. The medium looks fine, but it makes funny scratchy noises. And that's probably not good. I wonder why that is the case. My ears are bleeding, poor drive. Okay, you can definitely hear it, right? And Alexander has joined. Guten Abend. Windows 95 will work fine on the X40 if you got 8 Max. Yeah, we can install 8 Max at some point. The thing is, the Mac is super slow when copying to this compact flash card, it seems. Or does it need to download it from my cloud account? I'm not sure. Where is it? Why is it not copying? Ah, it is copying now. Good. Probably needed to download it from the cloud or something, from the cloud storage. It's only 8 megabytes, so that should be relatively fast. The drive, like, yeah, we can't install Monkey Island yet because there's no flash in there, but we will do Monkey Island. Not even sure if that will work. There's the original discs, all original, with the famous code wheel, obviously. Mix and Mojo. I think everybody knows that. There's surprisingly little in the box except for the manual. Lucasfilm was not keen on giving much in their packages. We got 6.2 megabytes written. For some reason copying is very slow. Must be the compact flash card. Yeah, anyway, almost done. 8 megabytes written. It's only a couple of seconds now. And there we are. Ejecting now. It is done. Where is the card? Here. I'm gonna plug it back in. Tight fit. There we go. Now we should be on. Oh. There we go. Okay. What we can do now is change to the installation directory where all the installation data are. Now it's also much quicker, obviously. Express setup. Oh, this is an English version. Okay. Now we got the English version. Never mind. Doesn't hurt. I wonder if you can change that to German using a German disk set and then just installing over that. Probably, I guess. Would be nice to have a German version in here because it's also German DOS. And this is a German case, so be nice. Ah, look at that. Please type your full name in the box below. Sure. Did I do it correctly? Continue. And now it's installing. Welcome to Microsoft Windows 3.1. If you're new to Windows, see a brief tour of Microsoft Windows. This is actually a 3.1. It was in a 3.11 folder. So I probably misnamed it when I downloaded it. If you've used Windows before, see new in this version in the Getting Started book. Very nice. Marco says, German case sounds like High Screen of Obis. Actually not, it's Mortec. It's actually made in Taiwan, but Mortec GmbH is from Germany. Also got a Mortec Germany label on the switch mode power supply. Yeah. But there you go, Windows is installing. Yeah, my capture setup today is not super crispy. I'm just using free software that I don't have to pay for on my phones. Double setup here. Usually I'm just using the webcam and one phone, but I managed to somehow connect both phones up to OBS. Which was difficult enough. Okay, we don't get any new news at the bottom. I was hoping that it would say some other text here. Installing the fonts now. The HDD clicker is clicking away. With quite a lot of volume actually. And there we go. We don't have any printer installed. Would be a fun exercise. There we get all the programs and stuff. Yeah, it found a couple of programs like the DOS editor. Do we want a tutorial? Of course we want a tutorial. Welcome to Microsoft Windows tutorial. This tutorial has 2 lessons. If you want to learn how to use the mouse, or if you need to brush up on your mouse skills, type M to begin the mouse lesson. If you are already a skilled mouse user, type W to begin the Windows Basic lesson. Yes, please. The Windows Basics lesson teaches you the skills you need to begin using Windows. Click Instruction to see how to move around in the lesson. Click Continue to begin the lesson. Yeah, I think we can do that. Program Manager starts every time you start Windows. You use Program Manager to organize your programs or applications into groups. Each icon in the Program Manager window represents a group, like Accessories and Main. When you open a group, the applications contained in that group are displayed in a window. Open the Accessories group now by double-clicking the Accessories group icon. There we go. Now the Accessories group is open. Group windows contain icons. Each icon represents an application. Oh dear. You start an application the same way you open a group, by double-clicking its icon. Start the write word processor now by double-clicking the write icon. Write is now running in its own window. That's why it's called Windows. Back to the times people needed an introduction to the mouse. Today most would need one for the keyboard. Or for the mouse. I mean, everything's touch nowadays. So I think learning the mouse is actually quite important. We are gonna exit the tutorial. Maybe we'll do it at a later point. It has US keyboard mappings, that's annoying. We will reboot and see what happens. And we can install the Sound Blaster driver for Windows. Okay, it doesn't run Windows automatically, which is fine. What does our it installed smart drive? We have 633 kilobytes free. That's pretty neat. That's more than before. Interesting enough. Probably because of the new version of EMM 386. Probably more efficient or something. I needed a there's a heart icon over my chat. I needed a translator when IBM called the mouse Serielle Zeigereinheit, so serial pointer unit, in OS 2. Yes, IBM was known for stuff like that. Let's start up Windows. That's something I haven't seen in a long time. There we go. And we're going to try and install the Sound Blaster driver. And Sound Blaster 1.5 is the newest one we can choose here. Let's see if it can figure it out on its own. It's actually in Win 3.11, which is a lie, because it's Win 3.1. And we should be on 220 and 5. Let's see if that works. And we'll restart. And we should... It works! Brilliant! Let's play Canyon.midi, I would say. That is in applications? No, that is in accessories, I think. Here's the media player. The screen is obviously 16 by 9 or something, but that's what we have to deal with. Here it is. Perfect. I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit. There you go. What else do we need? I think we can make this a bit larger. Tile everything. Arrange the icons a little bit nicer. Also in this window. And we might want to set some stuff up. Change the... do we have a screensaver? Screensaver the thing? Yes, it is. Starfield. Nice. And for some reason it starts trashing the disk. What's that? Oh, I thought you played Chip's Challenge and heard the music. Okay. Can we change the colors? Which color scheme? Hot dog? Fluorescent? Oh, that looks awful. Emerald actually looks quite nice. Yeah, I think I'll stick with emerald. 386 enhanced. That's nice. Virtual memory setup. It has 8 megabytes of virtual memory. Using MS-DOS, that's probably slow, right? What else can we change here? Type permanent. Use 32-bit disk access. Does that work or will it crash? And remember the color schemes hurting my eyes and so yes. Exactly. Permanent. Yeah, we can switch to permanent. That's probably pretty nice. Yes. Restart Windows. My guess is that the permanent one is faster, probably not fragmented or anything, but on the compact flash card that shouldn't matter at all. The time is 8:30, okay. Okay, so Windows is running. We do have solitaire. Oh yeah, let's play one round of solitaire. Wow, the background, the deck is terrible. Let's take the palm tree, I would say. Different song. I think I only have one song installed. I would have to download something. But maybe we can solve solitaire. This can go over here. This doesn't work out. Doesn't work. The 10 can go over here. The 9 can go over here. This one something like that. Now you need the family. The what? The famous Microsoft Entertainment Pack. Yeah. I don't have that. I have the Microsoft Plus pack for Windows 95 over there, but nothing else like that. Let's first play one round of solitaire, and then we can install Monkey Island 2, I would say. The 8 doesn't go anywhere. There's a 2 that we can stash away. The kings don't have any space yet. There's an 8 that we can move, a 7. Then we have a 4 where we can put the 3. There's another 4 that doesn't help. Marcus says, no school yet near for trading games. Yeah, I wish. The kids these days, they are up to no good. Queen, 6. Yeah, the 6 I can use. And there's another ace. Do we have a 5? No, we don't have a 5. There's a 10 that we can't use. But Rihanna says Windows Entertainment Pack is on WinWorld PC. Yeah, of course. We can download stuff on WinWorld PC. I do have a bunch of other stuff on here, on my hard disk. Not on this disk, on my Mac. I think this is not looking too good, because I need a black 9 or something like that, and something to move this 4 to, but I don't get to the 5 to put here. One more try, but I think this is the same as before. Okay, I think we lost that one. I'm gonna try and install Monkey Island, because it's such a nice disk here, disk 1, and I think this should work. I have a good feeling. Yes, this doesn't give us an error. Install. This is looking good, and I can look up something to install for Windows. Maybe the Entertainment Pack, yes. Solitaire, yes. We are installing 2C from A, and there it's going. I will now switch to ASCAM, because you will see my behind, and figure out the situation for the Windows Entertainment Pack. WinWorld PC. It's uncompressing, okay. Entertainment Pack. Microsoft Entertainment Pack, there. I take that. Oh, it's only one disk. Yeah, we can put that on a USB floppy. Here's a good floppy disk that we can use. Yes, 1 second. One second, please. Copying the entertainment pack and swapping discs from Monkey Island. The good Burda discs, yes. Matze asked what video card I'm using. I think this is definitely the Trident. I think a Trident 9000, so pretty cheap, run-of-the-mill card, but that's actually what I used to have as a kid. Did I put in the right disc? Oh, come on. Do we have the same problem here? Come on. This is disc 2. This should work. We do have an issue with our drives. No, this is fine. That's weird. That's weird. Let's check the other one. Do you see that? This is the same disk. I think this is smart drive doing some shady business. Can I disable that? I can disable that, right? For some reason it doesn't reread the directory. Maybe it's this A minus, I guess. No, it's not caching. Let's try again. Good, you didn't install Win95 from floppy disks to fail on disk 13. Yes. So, you're a fan of real floppy disk. What about Gotek? I like those for my Commodore Amiga and Atari ST. Yeah, of course. I do have one lying around here and I use it sometimes. I have one on the Amiga as well. But for example, on the C64, I'm almost exclusively using floppy disks. On the Amiga, I try to use floppy disks, but I also use the compact flash disk and install games and stuff there. And I don't, for example, demos, I usually load from the Gotek on the Amiga because I'm more inclined to use the C64 and use the floppy disks there, but not that attached to floppy disks on the Amiga. Something is wrong here. This is now not really working. I do have a feeling that there is something weird with DOS and this disk drive. I'm gonna try to skip all the configs, etc. Looks like the drive is faulty or the controller, but why would it show? Can't we use F8? No, we have to use F5, right? For MS5. The question is, why would it show the wrong directory? That doesn't make sense. means that there is something. How do you skip on MS-DOS 5 the everything? Isn't that's not possible? What? So I'm gonna put this in. Say dear A colon. Maybe the disk change sensor is dirty. Now it says it's disk 2. I'm gonna swap in the other disk, and it still says the same. There's definitely something wrong, yes. So the Microsoft disk was scratchy but not defective at all. Interesting. That's a bit annoying, actually. That is a bit annoying, because that doesn't help us install stuff. That means we have to use a different disk drive, right? I could go the easy way and use the Go tag, or I could grab a floppy from up here. I hope that it works. I do have 2 disk drives on which I wrote needs cleaning. Probably it is that the disk change sensor is not really working. Let's turn this off for a second. Now I reboot it again. Let's see. If we can make this come out, yes. For a very simple test, I can just take one of these drives and hook it up just in the middle of the air without unmounting the other drive. And then we can check. I will put the speaker a little bit away because it doesn't have any magnetic shielding. Where's pin 1? Should be this way. All right. I'm going to precariously put it like that and test it with a non-important disk like the one we just wrote. Eject it. Alright, there we go. Matze says, I had this issue some days ago and the small tactile switch was just stuck. Okay. Probably you're right. Probably it is that. Let's check if this drive is working. Looks pretty bad. General fault. Could be that I plugged it in the wrong way. I remembered that it is red wires have to be aligned with each other. Isn't that the case? Let's try it one more time. No, that's not looking good. But I think now this seems pretty dead, this drive. Yeah, let's check the next drive. I'm really not using floppy drives that much with PCs. I'm using them much more with the Commodore machines. Let's try this here. Maybe this will work. No! I can already say that I plugged it in the wrong way. Because the drive light was on all the time, which happens if you plug it in the wrong way around. Let's redo that. Yeah, this looks much better. Very annoying, that's right. It depends on the... Oh, I meant the red to power is not necessarily the rule for the floppies. It is on the hard drives though. Okay, yeah, I see. So probably that was the issue with the other drive. Let's first try this one here and then see where we go from here. Okay, this is working. Let's start Windows and try to install the entertainment pack. That should be possible. We need the file manager. Disk drive A. And there should be a setup. Oh, that sounds noisy. Okay, yeah, just install it somewhere. It's copying. Okay, there's Tetris in there. Oh, I totally forgot. We might want to retry this drive later, but for now it's good. And I need to service the other drive. It did work before because I installed MS-DOS using that drive. So there were like 2 disk changes at least. So something must have degraded since earlier today. Ah, Taipei, that is a Mahjong clone, I think. Entertainment pack is installed. We can close the file manager, eject the disk, and get stuck in my wire setup here. And we have a lot of stuff. Okay, we have Tetris. Let's try that out. We can turn on the sound if there are any sounds coming from this. Okay, this is an original Tetris version. It is copyright Elektronorg Technica, ELOG, and Alexei Pajitnov. Very nice. Oh, Vadim Gerasimov. Okay, this is no way associated with the Dutch guy. Okay. Okay, that works with the arrow keys. Makes sense. Okay, seems like a decent Tetris version, I guess. Really works only with the arrow keys, though. Game over! Perfect. Your cool name. Your cool quote. Windows sucks. Oh, brilliant. Well, this is fun. Save the high score table, yes, of course. Then we have Minesweeper, which is a bit redundant. One should probably try and compare the two versions. Are they the same? Cruel seems to be another solitaire variant where I don't have any idea how it works. Golf, the same. And we have Tick Tactics. Okay, we can do the simple game, 3x3. And there, we didn't win. And you can do a 3D game, and so on. Very interesting. Taipei is probably one of, with Tetris, one of the more interesting games here. And it's also a kind of solitaire game where you have to collect matching pairs, like the ones here, and you can only take from the sides. So the 6s here, and so on. The 9, the north symbol can be picked up. I think the orchids are matching with any orchid, if I remember correctly. The 7 matches. Then we have the 9s, for example, and so on. Mahjong, that Taipei game. Exactly. Okay, I think we all know how this goes. Idle Wild. Okay, this is like some screensaver, right? Hot corners. Blink now is enter. Blink now, bottom left. So if I do this, it does a random thing, it seems. Some tiles hopping away on the screen, nice. Dancing lines, okay, that is very straightforward. Yeah, I think we all can code something like that. Dropout. Oh, this was what we saw before. Interesting, because blackness did do something different at first. The Korean thing. Best of Windows Entertainment Pack, okay. Shuffle. Divide and shuffle. Okay, yeah, nice enough. Stars. Okay, that's what's already in Windows 3.1. I think the Entertainment Pack was for 3.0, and a couple of those things were okay. As wipes then random. Okay. I think Windows 3.1 incorporated some of the games and stuff like Minesweeper. Okay, cool. This is working, so let's try Monkey Island again. I want to see that game on here. So I need to figure something out with the drive. This is not working. I think I have to put it like this. A colon and then install. Neonum says, can you run it on some shit-coded piece I made some time ago? I'll send you a link. Okay, yeah, sure. If it's not full of viruses. We do have plenty of disk space left, so that's fine. Totally forgot how noisy the old AT power supplies are. Chips from the in and the outside is a good idea, yes. We have some microchips here and some potato chips here. I do need to hook up a couple of things in here as well. I hooked up the reset, but the turbo jumper is jumpered all the time. But it does obviously switch this LED panel already, but it does not do anything on the board because I didn't hook it up. And in theory there's also an LED for this. That was a noisy search on the disk drive. Okay, now comes the moment of truth. Will it work? Disk 2. No, it doesn't. There is something off with the disk change. Something broke. But what? PC Sound Legacy, good evening. You're joining while we are troubleshooting a little bit. We installed a couple of things. Windows is already on here, but we have problems with the disk drive. It doesn't detect disk changes, which is weird because we already changed the floppy disk drive because we assumed that the disk change sensor was stuck or something, which doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, would be weird if it's on 2. It has to be a controller issue. Could it be a cable issue? Would it help if I detached the other disk drive? Try another cable and then the controller. Yes, that's probably an idea. So what I can do is I can unplug the 5¼ inch disk drive, because I had to make this cable myself. It had only a 3.5 inch socket on there. Does it cache the directory content without a program like Smart Drive? Smart Drive does not cache floppy drives. Yes, Smart Drive does. But I disabled that earlier, but it's back when I reboot, of course. I'm gonna turn off the 5¼ inch drive for now. Might be the cable. It should be booting. It is not booting. Oh. This machine is behaving weirdly. Oh no, it just took, for some reason it took a long time. Here, drive A, disk caching status is on. So we can test with any disk in there. Looking at the disk for the first time will obviously work, right? This is disk 2, no setup on there. Now I'm gonna put in disk 1, which contains the setup. Doing another there. And there we go. It still shows the same thing, which is weird because it does access the disk. Even if I do it now. Ah, now it sees it. It is Smart Drive. So Smart Drive is at fault, not the floppy drive. It is Smart Drive. I'm gonna disable Smart Drive for now because, to be fair, on a compact flash we don't really need it. The question really is, why does Smart Drive cache the floppy disk? It's also very ugly the way that Windows put it there. I'm gonna try it like so. Maybe that helps. A minus, B minus. Did you change the Smart Drive configuration? No! I did not do anything. I just installed everything with defaults. Okay. On system disk, that's fair enough. Should probably change the boot order. Now this is looking good. Smart drive now says it's only caching C, which is fine. Let's redo this. He changed the floppy drive so it's not the sensor, yes. Yeah, I never had issues with smart drive before, so I'm also very, very curious why this is happening now. Stilgar says you can use smart drive A-, B- to remove floppies from the cache. Yes, I did that. I changed the auto exit bat to do exactly that. And I do have smart drive enabled for the C drive, for the compact flash. And it will be nice to have smart drive enabled once the hard disk arrives and I put it in here. So it's still a good, I think, a good idea to have it. Now that is definitely weird. I mean, maybe there is still some cabling issue or something, or an issue with the controller. There's something broken with the drive change signal or something. What size is your compact flash card? It's 512 megabytes. Just big enough so that I can still use it with this very old BIOS. I think I will finish installing Monkey Island 2, then we have a quick play from the first couple of scenes, and then at half past I will stop the stream. And then it's my usual 90 minutes. On compact flash anyway, access time is so good, I would not use this cache software. Yeah, we don't really need it. It's good to have it for the real hard disk, obviously. Smart drive /X, no idea what that does. Didn't try that, because I don't know what it does. And right now, we will see if it's going to work. No, it doesn't. For some reason, we still have the issue. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, I think this has to be definitely a controller issue or something. It's still seeing this thing, except if smart drive suddenly started again. No. What does smart drive X do? Doesn't have that. Smart drive X doesn't know what that does. Doesn't know that parameter. This air is right behind cache. Okay, hello Soul Sister from the other room. Yeah, I think there is something iffy with the controller. I would say this is a controller issue. Now it saw the change. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. What I can try is the following. I can copy all the files over there, and that should also work, I think. Goodbye. Could it be as simple as the disk change sensor not being properly connected to the controller? Yes, probably something like that. Neko asked which file manager is that? It's the DOS controller, dc.com. It's like 60 kilobytes or less. It's super small, super fast. I like it. It doesn't support CD-ROM drives, so on this machine it's good. On machines with CD-ROM drives it's pretty useless. Okay. Yeah, it's smaller than Volkov Commander. It's really tiny. I must say, I do think that this is a hardware issue. I will, after the stream, I will try another floppy drive cable and another controller. To be sure that I don't have a wonky hardware setup. The whole noise was smart drive writing. Yeah, you see? That's the thing. We don't have the... It doesn't reread the disk. Maybe there is a loose connection somewhere. Is it the cable? Is it the cable perhaps? I don't trust it. Or is it the controller? It's weird. I can't get it to... Ah, now it found it. For some reason. Off-topic question. Is it true you have to have a serial mouse to install Windows 95? Oh, I have no idea. And there should be a forced reread somehow. I have no idea how that works. Let me check for another floppy cable. I do have one here, which is only going to support the 3.5 inch, which is why I bought a couple of... Where are they? I have a couple of connectors for the edge connector type thing, which is what I did here. And I'm wondering if I managed to break something or bridge two connections or something. Problem is, you mostly only get these without the 5¼ inch connector, and I need a relatively long one, which I can put in there, as you can see. And yeah, that is definitely something that I require for this setup. So if anyone has a very long one with attachment for a drive B 5¼ inch, that would be nice. Because these are the later ones from the old tower style PCs where you only have one floppy drive, which is annoying. Let me quickly swap out the cable, and then let's see if that fixes our issue. Maybe this will help. I'm gonna switch back to the internal drive as well, because as we've seen, that is not the issue. The drive is not the issue. Come on. That's very tight. This is looking nice. I think I did that nicely. But I have the feeling that most likely it will be the floppy drive, because that the floppy drive cable, because that's what I basically made myself. There we go. And then here we go. Power, and that should do the trick. Inserting disk 3. Oh! What was that? Oh! Oh, we have weird stuff here. Something is really wrong on this machine. Oh boy. There is something wrong. Okay, I think we're not gonna see Monkey Island tonight. It didn't boot correctly. Oh, let's check. I think it might be that the auto. Oh yes, the autoexec.bat got corrupted for some reason. Oh wow, there's something nasty. I think smart drive. It's all smart drive. Let's quickly. It's not the latest version, but let's copy the old autoexec.bat over there. Yeah, that is nasty. Okay, let's reboot. And this is now without the autoexec.bat. Much better. Okay, this is looking good. This is the third disk. What else happened here in the chat? I would check the PSU. I did. Both the 5-volt rail and the 12-volt rail look just fine. But I only checked with the multimeter. I could check with the scope. But that was really spot on 5 and 12 volts. Does smart drive do write caching? Yes, it does. And I heard the clickering noises when it wrote after copying. Okay, this is definitely smart drive corruption. You really need to move on to 6.x and use /x to disk everywhere by caching. We don't have smart drive right now, so that should be better now. Okay. An electronic load, yeah, I could use one, but I think they are pretty expensive, right? I don't have that many. Oh, we still have the same problem. So it is not the cable, it is not smart drive, it has to be the controller. So I think it is the controller. It is the controller. How long does it take to recognize the change? It takes ages. It takes ages. It has to be. It's still the same. It says PCV 10C MI2 and it has to be D. What frequency is the ISA bus? Still the wrong. We can have a look. We can have a look in the BIOS. I think there will be a second part for this. Standard CMOS setup has the date, the disk, and everything. That's fine. Advanced CMOS setup has everything on defaults actually. System boot up sequence, system boot up CPU speed high, that is fine. Cache memory is enabled, should be fine. This is not what we have in mind. Here it is 80 bus clock is clock 2 divided by 10. Clock 2 is probably the 80 megahertz, I guess. Divided by 10 should be 8 megahertz, I think. If it's not smart drive fixing it, disable second level cache for troubleshooting. Yeah, we could probably do that. Tag RAM includes dirty, disabled, hidden refresh. Do we have SM read, SM write? Is it in the advanced CMOS setup? Toggle switch function, enable password checking. Where is the cache memory select? Help is nothing. Isn't the cache memory select disabled? I guess so. We'll see. Yeah, now it doesn't say that it has cache memory. Okay. Okay. Let's try again. It will of course now show the D disk. Yes, it does. We'll copy that so that we at least get somewhere today. You could increase I/O recovery and add 80 wait state to see if it helps. Yeah. Maybe. Let's see if this change without the cache helped anything. But it is not the cable. That is kind of a relief and kind of not. I'm not sure about the multi-I/O controller. It does seem to work, but I haven't used this at least in a very long time. It might be defective, of course. I need to check if I have a different one I can use, if all this stuff doesn't work. I mean, could just be wonky controller. Who knows? I really need to take a closer look at it. I thought because it was packaged away in a aluminum ESD safe bag, whatever, I thought it would be just fine. Let's check. No, doesn't help. So we can turn on the cache, I think, safely. It is not the cache that did this. I would suspect the controller card. I think that is broken in some way. I need to try a different one. Now it's enabled again. Let's write this. (128 KB of cache). That's fine. And then I'm gonna delete the macOS folders, the noise that it creates. A whole Spotlight index, probably a couple of megabytes. Okay, and here's the eDisk. Let's quickly copy that. And then I think next time I will try a different card. I do have one lying around here that is definitely good. Somewhere here. But the disadvantage is it's only a floppy drive and HDD controller. So I would have to put in a serial card, which I think I have. Yes, I think this one. I could put this in and the other controller card and check with those two, because the other controller definitely works. I had it used, I've been using it on my ATX test bench, and that does work. But you installed DOS from floppy still sounds like a software issue. Yes, it did work, but maybe something broke in the meantime. I don't know. I mean, it's 30-plus-year-old hardware. You never know what dies. Another tip not related to the issue, you may be able to enable memory remap feature in the BIOS, then you get additional XMS RAM instead of wasting it in adapter ROM section. Yes, that's true. So let's see if we can install from this. I think it does work. It does not work! Ah. Oh no! Oh, holy cow. Okay. It will complain now. New drive. Let's see. Oh no! That's really too bad. So you can't install from disk, from hard disk. Oh man, that sucks so hard. Okay. I think we won't get that far today. Too bad, too bad. I think I will dig out whatever we need. There's another floppy cable here. But the problem is this one is for 500 3.25 inch on the A drive and 3.5 inch on the B drive. And I would, I think, rather have the A drive be the 3.5 inch. I think. Otherwise, I don't have any MS-DOS discs on 5.25 inch. I think I could make some. But that's not the issue. The issue is, where is my other controller card? It's here. Maybe we can do this as a very last thing today, right? There's a very short, very short floppy drive cable, and don't be confused why I plugged it in this way. That's just because. Okay, but we are gonna take this out, and maybe it is the controller. Maybe that's bad. If it reads, I think the cable is fine. Yes, please let us know if another controller fixes it. Yeah, we will try. I will unplug the clicker. Or is it maybe the clicker that is bad? Who knows? Can it produce anything that confuses the controller? It's really hard to get this thing out of here. You can probably see my nose now. Oh, I should remove the mouse. We don't need it right now. It will boot without a mouse. Ah yes, there we go. Oof. So this is UMC branded chips on there. Looks actually rather cheap. Yeah, it doesn't have gold contacts or anything. It's from 1994, 31 years old. There it goes. And this is a simple SMC paddle chip with FDD and HDD, two bus transceivers, 244, 245, and that's it. Very simple card, gold contacts, nothing else. Two jumpers on there, a 4-pin connector that does I don't know what. Maybe one of those is LED activity for something like that. I need to check how this goes in here. I will disable the clicker for now. Of course I can't tell then what the issue is, if it's really the clicker. I hope it isn't. The CF card adapter, I haven't had problems with these actually, but CF cards are of course always hit or miss for me. CF cards sometimes work, sometimes don't. They are definitely not my go-to technology, but hard disks are getting rarer and more unreliable. Obviously, I'm not gonna screw this in. So, another quick test. Should hopefully work. It doesn't boot at all. Doesn't boot at all. Interesting. Interesting. This card definitely works. This controller card. I did use it in the ATX test setup. Let's unplug the CF card. Just for now. Just for now. To see if anything happens. Aha. The TF card hangs on the data bus and can disturb the communication due to aggressive pull-ups. Okay. So we should see a no system disk or something. Yeah. Hard disk controller failure, that is fine. Okay, yeah, of course. It complains, which is okay. We can very quickly make a test. We can boot DOS 5 setup and then swap the disks and see if it works. Then we know that at least this part is functioning fine. Oh, it doesn't boot. Did I do something wrong here? No, it is pin 1 over here and pin 1 over there. Everything is correct. Everything's correct. Is the slot maybe bad? Because it's the leftmost one. I'm wondering. It is accessing the disk. And then it stops. So there is something very, very iffy. I'm not trusting the slot right now, because I know that this this controller card is perfectly fine. I was using it a couple of days ago in a different board, and even in this board. So let's unplug this. The board should be fine, in theory. I also used it quite a lot. Okay. One more try with only floppy disk. And we need to insert a disk. And we'll complain about the hard disk controller error in a second or so. It's accessing the disk. And then it stops. Something is really, really broken with this thing. Yeah, I think we won't get to the bottom of this today, sadly. I'm not sure what changed, because I could install earlier today. It has to be something that I put in here that made it go bad. Or the board just died. I don't know. I'm looking for a single issue causing all the problems. Yes, somehow it doesn't... Sound card? Yeah, could be. At the moment, the most sane thing to do would be to get rid of everything that is not needed for strictly booting from floppy disk, and that's it. Okay, let's do one last thing and then I'll finish the stream, because I think this is not going to be solved today, sadly. Let's remove the card, the blaster board, which I never had an issue with. It's a great sound card. It does work just fine usually. I did not install the CF card, so we are merely using the known good floppy controller with a VGA card and a floppy disk. It will beep in a second due to hard disk not being found. RAM test in cache, data corruption. No, I don't think that's an issue. I think this should all be fine. Hard disk controller failure, of course, yes. It is accessing. And then it stops. The floppy disk is not damaged. This is write protected. I think this is just fine. Yeah, interesting and sad, sadly. This is very, very, very weird. I am totally not sure why the machine disintegrated like that. Very annoying. I thought maybe you installed the sound card after installing those. Yes, of course. I did install it later. Yeah. An annoying evolution of events, so to speak. Can you try the other previous controller with just the floppy drive? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that today anymore. It is really annoying. I wanted to pack this thing up and be done with it more or less. And now I have more broken things than I had bargained for. That is really annoying. What's weird is that it works a little bit, but it's so broken that it starts booting, but then stops, basically, right? And I actually just wanted to wrap this thing up, put it away, and be happy and can be able to use it some time. But now I'm so not sure what is causing this, because it's such a weird behavior. It does still boot from the compact flash card, but floppy reads work only once and then it doesn't detect the change, and it doesn't boot from floppy anymore, which is super weird. Like it starts booting and then just stops. And as I said, this is a write protected disk. I don't think that it just gets destroyed or something, but I will try. Anyway, nice that all of you guys joined in and gave a lot of helpful hints and comments. Sadly, we couldn't test out that much, not even the disk that is in here. Yeah, I think there is more future work in this machine, sadly. Maybe I should just use a different mainboard. But it did work very well when I had it on the ATX test bench. So that was pretty neat. But I do want to get all this stuff out of this room, so I have to get this wrapped up in some way. Yeah, but I don't know yet in which way and how we're gonna fix this. It would be nice to just know, okay, it was a bad controller card, which it obviously isn't. I think we can almost rule out the controller card. It doesn't seem to be the sound card that's hurting. It doesn't seem to be the floppy drive, which leaves more or less only the mainboard, right? That there's something wrong with that, which is obviously very sad because that's the most complex part, and it was working just fine. And I wonder what happened that it stopped working correctly. So that's a bit weird. I can of course check the power supply as mentioned by Matze. It might have degraded. I mean, it's also like 35 years old or something and probably hasn't been used in 10 years or 20 years or even longer. Yeah. Okay, but that's it for today. I have to work tomorrow and so have to get to bed sometime soon. And yeah, thank you very much for joining in, and maybe there will be another stream or another update video or something like that for this machine. And so I say have a nice evening, and I'm gonna turn off the stream now. See you in the future.